Hi friends, Mr. Jordy here. Now I know that I have shared some videos with you on strategies on how to add and subtract that we use in second grade. And I thought today I would break those down and show one strategy so that we can work through all the steps together. So I wrote this word problem here, and I thought we could go through solving it using the pictorial method. So we're going to use an HTO chart to solve it. Now we don't know until we read the problem if we need to add or subtract. So we have to figure that out. So I like to use this strategy. It's called RDWW. And what that means is, first I want to read the problem. Then I want to determine an operation. And I like to, this is like kind of 2Ds too, because I also like to draw out my solution. And then I need to write a number sentence. And I need to write a statement. So, whenever I'm doing problem solving, I'm always thinking about these four things when I'm getting ready to solve a word problem. So, I'm going to take it right from the top. And the first thing we will do is we'll read the problem. So, Tom ate 93 Skittles out of the bag. His brother Sam ate 65 Skittles. How many more Skittles did Tom eat than Sam? So, once I've read the problem, now my thought before I can move on to determining what I need to do, I like to do something called text coding so that I can pull out the really important information in a word problem. So, the first thing I think about is, what do I know? And what do I know? And when I look at this, I know that Tom ate 93 Skittles because it says it right here. So I'm going to underline Tom, 93 Skittles, and I'm going to put a little K for the word know because I know it above the 93. And I'm going to continue to keep looking. Tom ate 93 Skittles out of the bag. His brother Sam ate 65 Skittles. So here's something else that I know, that Sam ate 65 Skittles. So I'm really highlighting what's super important for me to be able to solve this problem. How many more Skittles did Tom eat than Sam? Well, that's not something I know. That's something I want to know. So really right there lies what the question is. How many more did Tom eat than Sam? And that is my W. That is what I want to know. So now I'm going to move on to D. And D is I'm going to determine what math operation to use, and I'm going to draw it out. So I'm going to try to solve it. And I already explained that I'm going to use the HTO chart. So whether I have to figure out that I need to add or I need to subtract, regardless, I'm going to use an HTO. So I'm going to use a pictorial method. So I look at this and I see 93 Skittles. So I visualize, here's a guy named Tom. He's got 93 Skittles. And he's giving his brother and him are sharing this bag. So Tom eats 93 of the Skittles and Sam eats 65 of the Skittles. And now this question here is asking me, how many more Skittles did Tom eat than Sam? So when I think about that, I think about, what are they asking me? Are they asking me how many Skittles that both Tom and his brother Sam ate in all? Because if they are, then they would be asking me to add because I'd be grouping those together. If they're asking me what the difference is between how many 1/8 and how many the other 8, then I would need to subtract, because when we look for the difference or we compare things, we're subtracting. So the first thing that happens when you read a word problem is that you need to decide, are they asking me to add or subtract? And there's always some clues. The clues we hear text coded help us to figure that out. This word I circled here, how many more, that's super important. So they're asking me to compare the two brothers. They're not asking me how many they ate in all. So they're not asking me to group them up. They're asking me to compare them. So when I'm comparing, I'm working on the difference between them. What's different about how many Tom ate to how many Sam ate? So I know that I need to subtract. So this problem requires me to subtract. So I am going to now do the D to determine, and I determined that I needed to subtract. Now I'm going to draw out an HTO chart, and I'm going to label them. Hundreds always go all the way over to the left, tens in the middle, and ones are always to the right. So ones, tens, hundreds. Now I'm going to take my problem, (93) minus 65 equals, and I don't really know yet, so I'm just going to leave that blank. So I've started here with writing a number sentence. This is the expression part of it. Once I have the whole thing, the equation will be finished. So in order to do this, I need to do the steps to do the subtraction. So when you are subtracting using an HTO chart, a pictorial method that we are using here, we are going to put in that larger number. So we're going to put in Tom's Skittles. Tom has 93, so he doesn't have any hundreds, but he does have tens. He has 9 tens. So I'm going to put 9 tens in this box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm drawing them as place value discs. So each one of those discs represents one of the tens. So I have 9 of them there. If you noticed, I also put them into a vertical 10 frame. That way so that it's easy for me to look at it and count them really quickly because they're very organized. So now I have the 9 tens, and I'm going to put my 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 93 in my chart. So if I'm going to subtract, I need to take out my other number. So I'm going to take out how many Sam ate. So 65 of them I'm going to take away from here. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to look at the number and I'm going to say, well, do I have any hundreds? Nope. Do I have any tens? Yes, I have 6 tens. Can I take away 6 tens from here? Sure I can, because I have 9, so I can take away 6. So I'm going to make a little line through 6 of them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then I'm going to need to take 5 ones. Well, when I come over here and I look at my ones, I notice that I only have 3 there. So that's a problem. I can't take 5 away when I only have 3. So to solve that problem, I need to do something called breaking up, looping, and regrouping. So I need to take one of these tens, and I'm going to circle it, and I'm going to break it apart. And when I break it apart, I'm going to arrow it over back into the ones, because I'm breaking that 10 into ones. And how many ones do you get inside of 1 10? Well, you get 10. So I'm going to put those 10 ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I've taken apart this 10 and I've broken it up into 10 ones. Now when I look at it, am I going to have enough to be able to take 5 away? Sure I am. Now I have plenty to take 5 away. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now I took 5 away. So now I've basically done all the steps that I needed to do. I put Tom's 93 in, I took Sam's 65 out, and now I just need to calculate. So I'm going to count what I have. So I'm going to start in ones, and I'm going to count how many ones I have left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 ones. And then when I come over to tens, it's super important that I remember that this one that I looped and broke apart, I have to pretend that that's invisible now. I can't count that one again. Same goes for these that I already took out. So all I can count is the ones that are left there. So I'm going to count them. 1, 2. And that's going to give me 2 tens. So now I know that 93 minus 65 equals 28. And that is how I solved that using an HTO chart. So I did my reading, I did my determining, I did my drawing, I wrote my number sentence, and now what's left is for me to write my statement. And my statement is going to be words. And I am going to say that Tom ate 28 more Skittles than Sam, period. And that is how I answer a word problem using the RDW method. I've put all my work there, and I've done it with a pictorial.